In this video, we're going to install an aftermarket head unit. This head unit is by Dasaita, who sent this product out for me to do a couple of videos on. My Rav4 is a 2020 adventure, which includes Android Auto and Apple Carplay. So we're going to replace what comes with our Rav4 with this one. This is in fact my first unboxing, so let's take a look. You have some quick install steps, which we won't need because you're going to be watching my video. Here's a user's manual. We have a lot of wire harnesses. We have some more wire harnesses. And this is the head unit itself. And here it is. It is a larger display than what comes with the Rav4. There are all of the numbers to tell us what is what. All these wires that came with the kit will be going into here, and then it will connect to the existing wires of our head unit. We'll first start with removing the existing head unit from our Rav4, and then we will mix and match and find where all these go to get this head unit to work. It should be pretty simple and straightforward, honestly. Let's take a look. The only thing I care about in my head unit from Toyota is Android Auto. I simply connect my phone and I have access to all of my contacts, my maps, my music. I don't care about my fuel economy. I never even look at this display, honestly. So I don't know if we will lose this feature or not with the new head unit. I also don't know if we'll lose Sirius XM. We'll take a look at that. AM, FM radio I never use, but I'm pretty sure that will be transferred into the new head unit as well. The other thing to note, in my other videos, I installed a 4-channel amplifier, which is located back over here. I will install this as though I do not have that amplifier, which will probably be the situation for a lot of other viewers. So we're going to bypass the wires that go down and back up. We're just going to go straight into the existing wire harness of Toyota. In my previous video where we installed the 4-channel amplifier, I did remove this. I'm going to go ahead and do the same steps as I did before. So you will need a panel trim removal tool to remove the cover that's along the back side. And then you're going to need a socket wrench to get into these bolts over here. Once you get the back panel removed, you're going to need a 10mm socket wrench. An extension arm will help you reach better. There are 4 bolts in total that you will remove, 2 on each side. Once you have the 4 bolts removed, you're simply going to pull this forward, and that'll release the head unit. I have a magnet here that I use for a cell phone that I use to hold the head unit in place as I unwire the back of the head unit. This wire piece looks like it matches this guy right here of my original Android head unit. So that means this is going to connect to this piece right here. This came out of here and it matches this port, so I will connect this to this. This piece on my wire harness matches this guy right here. So this is going to connect to this piece right over here, as this piece came out of here. These are the speaker wires that come out of this port, and it will connect to this guy right here on the main wire harness. So this will go right into there. Next, we have 2 wire harnesses that look very similar This piece does not fit on this one or this one. It goes into the white one, so it's pretty easy to tell which one it goes into. So we'll connect these two together. This one, however, fits the gray one and the black one. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the gray one for now, as the wires seem to have most alignment. If that doesn't work, we'll go ahead and switch it to the black one. But for now, it's the gray one, unless I say something differently in the later part of the video. On the wire harness with this black piece that would connect over here on the new head unit, there is a key 1 and key 2, which apparently are nothing. We're going to look at this reverse 1 and connect that to the reverse 1 over here of our harness. So these two, we will connect these two together and then we'll pinch it. I believe there was one more like this. Here's reverse 2, but I don't see another reverse 2, so we're going to leave that one alone. This is the camera signal from my rear, and this will go into the camera in of this other wire harness. So these two will connect to each other. There are 3 points of my head unit that don't have a landing point for the new head unit. We have the blue, black, and white, which is this piece, and this piece. Judging by the way the wires are and from what I remember of the B-pillar head unit where the wires ran up over here, these are the satellites that go to the top of the Rav4 onto that shark fin antenna. So probably Sirius XM will not be supported on the new head unit. This gray connector, which came from this port here, goes to a USB. On the wire, it says USB cable on it. And on this head unit, USB cable is port B. B is a 4-pin. And this is the only 4-pin that I have. So you have 4 wires, 4 pins. So I'm going to guess that it goes inside of here. We will connect this piece into this USB, and then this into the 4-pin port B, which is located right over there. We are now done with knowing where the ports are for this head unit. The other piece that doesn't have a landing point is the large black and white pin connector. There's a lot of wires on this, so I thought it'd be pretty significant, pretty important, but for now, it doesn't look like it goes anywhere, so I'm going to leave that aside. What we will need to do is take the back cover of this and install it on that Rav4 or that head unit, because it doesn't look like it has one. I also didn't see these types of mounts on this one either, so that might get transferred as well. To remove the back cover of our original head unit, I'm going to start by unscrewing these 4 bolts on top. The 1 bolt on that side and the 1 bolt on this side, or 1 screw. These are Phillips screws, so you'll need one of those tiny screw heads, and then we're going to see if we just simply pry this off. I stuck my prying tool and then I kind of twisted it until it opened. And do it again to this side if I can. There you go. And then it looks like over here, this clip here is holding it in place, so we'll need to pinch and then pull out in this location and in this location to free it up. Right now, it just looks like we got the front panel unit removed, but we want to focus on the back piece. After some more prying, we were able to remove the back cover. So you can see that there's a hole there. You can see that there's a hole here, which is from this trim clip holding it in place on both sides. This is the front face. This is our head unit. And then here's the back cover that we're going to transfer to the back side of this. Next, I will remove these mounting points with either a socket wrench or a Phillips screwdriver. These 2 holes here are what hold the head unit to these points here. Under this is metal, which is what it's held into, not this plastic. You will need an 8mm socket wrench to remove these. This is the back of the aftermarket head unit, and this is the front cover of the Toyota head unit. They they align with each other quite well. What we need to do is remove these red clips and install it onto the points of the aftermarket head unit. So we're going to pinch these out and then transfer it here so that the back cover can clip on and be more secure. I have transferred all of the red clips, which are 6 in total. I will take my back piece and I will push against it so that they snap into each other. The bottom clips are not snapping into place. The top ones did just fine. You can see there's a gap left, and it turns out that these screw holes up here are getting in the way of, or the brain of this head unit is getting in the way with these screws being pushed down. So we'll need to see if we can, I don't know, either cut this, which I don't want to do, or see if we can shift this down a bit and see if it can fit better that way. It does look like you can adjust the height by removing these screws into a different location. However, it doesn't look like we can go down anymore without losing the support of our bottom screw. It will only be held in place by the top screw, which does worry me. I'm going to go ahead and remove these screws and shift it down one and see what it looks like in the end. I went ahead and removed both screws and then shifted it down by one. So you can see that the brain of the head unit is held in place by one screw. This is the same for the other side. It does still feel quite snug, surprisingly. So I will go with this, but I think if I can find a bracket and just extend it downwards, I'll look into that and see if it's possible. It shouldn't be that difficult to find something like a similar screw pattern as this. So we'll see, and that might be in a follow-up video. With the brain of our head unit slid down one notch, we are able to snap the back cover into place. And you can see that there is a gap around here which exposes the electronics. I did also notice we have a gap a little bit along the edges, which is just unfortunate, but it's probably not going to be visible from your driving angle. So it won't hurt. Unfortunately now, I don't have any place to mount this to here. It actually didn't even have any spot to put this. I thought that this piece would go into here and then we would be able to bolt it into there, but that doesn't it doesn't look like it so far. So I'm not entirely sure how this will be held into place, other than the trim clips located right here, which are not the most securable way to do a 5-pound head unit. Does install into place just fine. The trim clips work really well. It is holding it into place, but it's hella loose. And then if I go to the back side, you can see there's no place to mount it into the factory bolt holes of the Rav4. So we'll need to see what we can do about that. Since there is no place for this piece to mount to the head unit, what I could do is bend this forward so that friction along this will hold this into place with the bolts down here. So we bend this so that it goes from a 90-degree angle to something more open. Then the friction from this port here will kind of hold this piece in place through the friction. If I put this into here, you can see that it does make contact, and if I bend it, we can kind of secure it in place through friction. I don't want to bend it too much, because if I want to go back to the original head unit, I'd like to be able to bend this back. So let me go ahead and bend this and see how that works. This is my unbent bracket. This is the bent up one. Couldn't really do that great of a job, so we'll see what it looks like once I bolt it down. Well, again, all I want is just enough friction to kind of hold that into place. Looking at the back, we're going to take this big black wire harness from the main one and connect it to this. Next, we're going to connect this guy, which for me is the reverse camera. If I look up here, it looks like it is letter D, which is the top right. So that will go up over here, 8 pins. And this thingy also has 8 wires as well. So that will go right into here. The USB wire, that was the gray connector that leads to this blue point here, will go into, let's see, probably 4 pins. So it's going to go into letter B, which is the second one from the top left. It's going to go right into there. This is the antenna, which is going to go all the way into here. So I'll probably run it behind all these wires. This is RCA cables for your speaker system. If you want to go this route of rewiring your speakers from a new head unit, this will go into the RCA cable, which is point A. It would go right into here. But since I'm not going to use this, I don't think I need to install it. There is this wire harness here, which connects to the head unit and gives you 2 USB in. I am not sure what they are, but they go into letter F, which is down over here on the bottom left. I will install this and probably run the wires to the either behind the console down here or into the glove box, as I've done before with the wiring to the engine of my 12-volt line. So I'll probably go behind here and then down into there. Next, we'll go ahead and install the Wi-Fi, which goes into here. This is probably the easiest one we'll do. We have GPS, which connects to this port here, and then it gives us enough slack to maybe put this somewhere up over here where we can get a decent signal. I will probably wire that towards the end, as I don't need GPS to test out the head unit. We also have microphone in. So that is this point right over here. And we'll need to wire this also somewhere where we can get our voice. So also probably somewhere up here. Hopefully there's enough slack to go all the way around. If there isn't, it is a 3.5 millimeters, so we could get an extension and make that reach. I would be more concerned about the GPS making a reach all the way up over here, as we would have to go down behind the glove box, up the A pillar, and then back over here. So maybe we'll need to find a home somewhere in that corner if we don't have enough wire length. I have temporarily held the head unit in place. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this vehicle and see what happens. Or go into accessory mode and see what happens. So far that looks good. We have our nice Toyota logo. I don't have any issues on my dashboard so far. My trunk is open. And looks like it works so far. That's pretty cool. I have just completed the install of the aftermarket head unit by Dasaita. I did bend the brackets on both sides so it applies friction to the back of the head unit and it feels a whole lot more solid. I'll try to find a more permanent fix if this is the head unit I want to continue with. The microphone and GPS, I just wired it from behind the head unit, and I'll secure it somewhere back here for now. In the next video, I will wire it to the proper location, whether it's behind the glove box, up the A-pillar, somewhere up behind the mirror. I will also run USB cables down to the glove box together. There was some accessories for that. There was also an HDMI port on the back of this that I will run an extension behind over here, and we'll see what that feature allows. Between now and the next video, I will explore the features, what it has, what we lose with this head unit versus the other head unit. If you have any questions about the features or the installs, leave a comment below. I will answer them either in the comments or in the next video. For now, let me go ahead and turn this on and just give you guys one last look. Yes. So it does detect that the rear cargo door is unlocked or open, which is really cool. So already I feel pretty good about this. What I wanted to see, I'm gonna go into reverse with the rear door open and see what happens. Ah, see, the camera does work as well, so that is good. I feel really, really good about this, and I don't have any of I don't have bird's eye view, so that shouldn't work for me. So we'll go ahead and explore this, and I'll see you in the next video.